Today we're making a not so traditional taco. This is a hot honey glazed crispy chicken taco, a little bit of pickled veg, as well as a really nice tangy smoky sauce. Super easy to put together, it's a lot of fun to make. Let's jump straight in.
Now we'll start with our pickles, so thinly slice half of a red onion, keeping those slices nice and even so that they can pickle consistently. Take a small Lebanese cucumber and run a vegetable peeler lengthways to create thin, delicate ribbons, and these soak up the brine beautifully without going soggy. Add both to a clean jar, packing them loosely so the liquid can move through, and pour in 100 milliliters of white vinegar, 2 tablespoons of water, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and a generous pinch of salt. The sugar balances the acidity while the salt helps draw out moisture and enhances the flavor. Seal the jar tightly and give it a good shake to dissolve that salt and sugar, and we can pop this in the fridge until we're ready to serve, and these taste better if you make them a day before. Now for the sauce, add 100 grams of whole egg mayonnaise into a bowl, and this is the base to our sauce. 1 tablespoon or 20 grams of tomato ketchup for a nice little tang and sweetness. 1 teaspoon or 10 grams of Dijon Mustard for depth. 1 teaspoon or 5 milliliters of hot sauce for a little bit of heat, which is optional. Just a splash of Worcestershire sauce for a little bit of umami. A teaspoon each of garlic powder and smoked paprika for that nice smoky tang. Then slice off about 1/4 of a lemon and squeeze in the juice, making sure that no seeds are in there as well, and you can add as much or as little as you like to this. Also, season to taste with salt and pepper, and then mix everything around until it's nicely combined and you have this beautiful tangy sauce that we can place in the fridge until we're ready to serve. Moving on to the chicken, I'm using 10 chicken tenderloins. What I'm doing is using the prongs of that fork to go through the tendon, and then getting some kitchen roll, pushing down with the fork and pulling up with the kitchen roll, and this is going to remove that tendon in one clean piece. What you should have is a nice chicken tenderloin that looks like this. Add the chicken to a bowl and pour in 1 cup of buttermilk. This is going to break down the proteins in the chicken, making it super tender and juicy. Add a teaspoon of smoked paprika for a deep smoky flavor and a teaspoon of garlic powder for that savory kick. A touch of hot sauce, it's completely optional, and season with salt and pepper. Mix everything really well and then allow this to marinate for a minimum of 30 minutes up to 48 hours, or you can use it straight away. Now the dredge is 1.5 cups of plain all-purpose flour, 3/4 of a cup of cornflour or cornstarch for the US, 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, which is optional, and half a teaspoon of baking powder. Season with salt and cracked black pepper, then use a dry whisk and mix everything thoroughly until all evenly incorporated, and we can set this aside for a couple of minutes. To make a quick hot honey glaze, combine 1/3 of a cup of honey, 1 teaspoon of unsalted butter that's melted, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and a teaspoon of Chilli Flakes, which is optional, and then mix to combine and keep warm until we're ready to serve. When you're ready to cook, we can add the chicken straight from the marinade into the dredge and dust these really well, getting in all of the little nooks and crannies, making sure that they're thoroughly coated, and then just repeat with any remaining batches and place them onto a tray. As for the oil, heat this to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and you can use any neutral flavored oil or any tallow you prefer. When it is at temperature, add in the chicken. We're going to fry these for about 4 to 5 minutes, flipping them halfway until they're golden brown and crispy. And of course, that chicken is juicy and cooked in the center. Place them onto a wire rack to drain, and then repeat with any remaining batches. What you should have is this crispy golden chicken that looks like this. Now once the chicken's a little bit cooler to handle, you can either chop this up or you can leave those tenders whole. That choice is all yours. Whether they're whole or chopped, add them to a bowl and then season with salt. Pour over all of that hot honey glaze and then give this a good shake, making sure everything is thoroughly coated. And one of the reasons I like to slice these in half is that way the hot honey glaze can go all over the internal of the chicken. Now this recipe makes 10 tacos, and I'm using flour tacos for this. Place a little bit of that tangy sauce on the bottom, the chicken over the top, and then a touch more of that tangy sauce. Go over the top with those pickled cucumbers and onions. The amounts are completely up to you, but what that leaves us with is these vibrant, beautiful looking chicken tacos that smell fantastic.
We've all said and done, there's only one thing left to do, and that is we can then dig in. That is a beautiful blend of sweet, savory, and acidic. There's a little bit of heat in there as well. Of course, you don't have to use that if you don't want to. The chicken's crispy, it's juicy. The vegetables add freshness, that little bit of tang as well. These are absolutely delicious.